General Council of 2013 to order. It's, uh-oh. I get it closer here. Okay, I'm Chief Paula Pachonik of the Delaware Tribe. I'm here to get this meeting started, and I'd like to first tell you, could you all put your cell phones on silent or turn them off so we don't disturb the meeting? Guess everybody's ready. We want you all to stand if you're physically able to stand. We're going to have our color guard come in, and it's our Lenape color guard. So if you will all stand. So please remain standing, and our Assistant Chief, Chet Brooks, will offer an opening prayer.
Tamiki Lenape, which mean in Keshala Makan, come in, Delaware people, and join me in prayer to our Creator. Wanishi Willie Kishku Dakokan, Wanishi B, Wanishi Mitzi. I'm first of all thanking the Creator for this good fall day, the water that we'll drink, and the food that we'll eat. Wili Nipilinen Lenape Oak Sakima Oak Galibiman. Stand up our people, our chief, and our other leaders well. Ongan de Wogan Lenape Oak. I'm asking the Creator to stand up our people, our chief, and our other leaders well, and thank the Creator for this great day. Amen.
Thank you, Chet. I'd like to introduce this color guard. We have Kenny Brown. He's the U.S. Army. Homer Scott. He was in the Navy. We have John Sumter as the U.S. Army, and we have Sarah Boyd, and she was in the Army too. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Please be seated. So if you all can't hear me, you can come on up closer, sit in the chairs up front. I'll try to let you hear me. Well, I just want to say welcome. I'm glad for the turnout for our annual General Council meeting. We don't have a quorum yet, but we're working on it. So I take it that you've all registered toward this quorum. If you're a Delaware adult tribal member, then you need to have the sticker on your clothes so we can see it, and so you can vote and get your vote counted. Okay, I want to take this opportunity to introduce us here at the table and our other elected officials. We have my assistant chief down at the end here is Chester Brooks. He's also the chairman of the trust board. Next to him is Annette Ketchum, council member, Jennifer Brown, council member, and right in the middle of us, I might as well introduce her, is this is our parliamentarian. She'll be keeping us in order today. She is from the Bartlesville League of Women Voters, and she's trained at being a parliamentarian. So she's going to help us with this meeting this afternoon. And of course, I'm Chief Paula Pachonik. This is the secretary of the Tribal Council. This is Verna Crawford. She's also the assistant chair of the trust board. Next to her is councilperson Jennifer Pachonik, and on the other side is Nathan Young. So that's the council, and the rest of the trust board is sitting in the audience. We have Bonnie Jo Griffith. She's the treasurer of the trust board. Would you please stand, and we'll just hold our applause till everyone gets introduced. We have member, let me get him to sit down and then I'll tell him to stand up. No, John Sumter. Member Homer Scott. He's back there in the back. Keep standing, John. We have Larry Joe Brooks. Is Mr. Brooks? There he is. And we have member Nikki Michael. Now we also have our court system here. We have Chief Judge Don Mason. There he is. The Assistant Chief Judge John Chapman Young. He's on his way. He's not here. Rick Barnes. Judge Rick Barnes, are you here? We have Judge Beverly McLaughlin. Is she here? And we have Judge Charles Randall. So there you go. Thank you. Okay, you can be seated now. We have a lot of our tribal staff here today. They're seated at the tables, and they're here to help you with the tribal programs. They have some handouts, and they administer these programs on your behalf. I hope you'll take the time to kind of circulate and get to introduce yourselves, and they can help you with any problems you have, I hope. And you can learn more about the programs and the services that the tribe has for you. I'd like to recognize the community support groups. We have the Delaware War Mothers over here at this table. There's a couple of them over there right now, but they are. They're busy over there today. They are raising funds for their organization, so they're having a bake sale over there at the table, and they're having a silent auction. So you have to take some time and walk over there and see them and something they're doing special come Friday is, that's November the 8th, they will be having a ceremony right here in this room, and so you're all invited to come to that. They will be honoring the tribal veterans at that time. So now we have some rules of conduct for this meeting. We're required by the Constitution to have 100 adult voting members before we can conduct any business. But we're going to go ahead with a, I guess we ought to check to see about the quorum. Okay, there it is, 67. We already found that out. So we're quite a ways from a quorum, but we did appoint ahead of time some workers to help us with this process. And we have the credentials. We have Leslie Foley, Chris Miller, and Alan Barnes, all tribal members, that will confirm your registration. And they're going to tell me when we get to 100 to constitute the quorum. We have timers for their employees, Rachel Obermeyer and Kenzie Gomez. They're on our tribal child support enforcement program. They were going to be keeping track. We have a 3-minute time limit on speaking, so if we get to a quorum if you're speaking, then we'll have a time limit, but they'll keep us in line on any motions or resolutions. They will also be reminding me at the top of the hour when it's time to draw for the $50 Walmart card. So I think we've already had 2 of these drawings today.
Yes.
Who's our winners on those?
Archie
Our cook.
and Les Reynolds.
Les Reynolds, okay. So who's the next lucky person? Okay, the other, we have what we call tellers. They'll count the votes. If we go to a vote on the floor, they will be there to count the votes. And who is that? Bonnie Joe and Cy Young will be the tellers. Hughes, Cy Young. Where'd that come from? Whoa. Okay, remember that if you don't have your sticker on, your vote won't be counted. Here, and when you, if you do have a motion or a resolution on the floor, it's this form, and so you can get your form over to the information table. I guess that's that table right back there, where it says housing. No, there's Curtis back there. He's holding it up, and so it's back there at that first table. Okay, we have minutes from last year's meeting, and I guess Verna's going to be making the first motion.
Move to approve the minutes of last year's meeting as written.
Second that motion.
Okay, we'll file those. So we've already introduced our parliamentarian. And we're not going to vote on that because there isn't a quorum. But we can, for the record, we did have the minutes. So on these people I just introduced to you, the credentials and the timer and the parliamentarian and the tellers, if there's no objection to these people, we'll appoint them for today. Okay. Also, I'd like to say that in this year, to keep records of this meeting, We have Greg Brown over here at the camera. He's our IT man. He's going to keep track of us today. Okay, I guess I just need to tell you if you're recognized to, if you want to make a motion or a resolution, if we get a quorum, then you just have to stand up and state your name. We have a microphone right there in the middle of the room. Okay. You can step to that microphone and state your motion or your resolution, which you can fill out one of those forms ahead of time if you want to, or we can also wait on you to do that. So we just need to keep all that stuff for the record.
Point of order, Madam Chief.
Yes.
As to the parliamentarian, since we don't have a quorum and we can't conduct business, do we go ahead and proceed with the informal presentation?
Yes. It doesn't require a vote.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
So if we do get these forms filled out, you can go to the microphone and read your motion, the second, and then I would like for you to hand those to me for the record. Okay. What time is it? Close to 2? No. Okay. I guess we're ready. Okay. So put that there. Hello. Nancy Ann.
My name is Nancy Sumter, and I'd like to entertain a motion.
Wait. Oh.
You couldn't hear me over there? I'd like to entertain a motion to skip the long report so we don't lose too many people.
Oh, yes, we are doing that today.
Okay, that's all I had.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I guess I need to tell you that the last couple of years, we seem to get bogged down in the presentations of the reports from the programs and the committees. So we just like to just step right up to the business and tell you the state of the tribe. And especially since we don't have a quorum, I guess it's important that people ask questions, but they ask so many questions that it gets bogged down and people get tired of sitting in one spot too long. So I'll just go on and start in. Our presentation is going to be with some PowerPoints up here on the screen. And I just want to tell you a little bit about what we have done this year. So we've done a whole bunch this year with we had the BRIC program. They're down in front of the social service building now. I don't know if you've been by to see them or not, but people did buy bricks this year with their families' names or memorial or things on there, and it made a nice display right there in front of the walkway in front of our new social services building. So how many of you have seen the new social service building this year? We had a opening last April on that. It's really a nice building. Okay. Okay. I don't know, Bernie, do you want to move down there so you can see it, or
I'll make it come.
you can? Yeah, you can see it later. Okay, so we did the bricks. We opened our social service building. We got our trust application, fee to trust on the Caney building. We remodeled the building up there. We have a kitchen expansion. I'm sure since last year you all can see that the kitchen expansion has, it's a great asset for us. The kitchen is a lot bigger, and we have ice cream machine, popcorn machine. We have a lot of fellowship going on here during the lunch hours. We have 40, 50, 60 people in for lunch every day. That's 5 days a week here at the center. So the kitchen expansion was a pretty important thing. We have reduced the overhead at the DEA. They are located to Caney. We've worked on the infrastructure very heavily this year. We're beefing up our infrastructure. We have lots of staff development and training going on at this time. Organizational strength and communication. We had a lawsuit filed, but it was never served on the tribe. We negotiated a settlement and kept the costs down and out of the court. We partnershiped with a big tribe up in Montana. They have quite a line base up there. They're called Salish Kootenai. We call them S&K. We're working on our 8A. I think it's going to get turned in real soon. We worked, several of us worked real hard at getting our, just a second, what is it?
What's it? Put it on. What's it?
8A. What is it? Oh, it's a business arm. It's, how to explain that? Go ahead.
The 8A is a program that Indian tribes can file for, which gives them priority for government bidding through, they can get first consideration from the Department of Energy, the Department of Defense to get contracts with the government. And it's can be a very strong and lucrative position to be in for our economic development.
Thank you, Vernon. We had the National Congress of the American Indian was in Tulsa last month, and so we all got involved in that because it was the tribes in Oklahoma that was sponsoring it, and we made quite a presence there. The United Tribes of Oklahoma reformed, and so it's now the United Tribes of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, and we've been going to those meetings and trying to get a bigger recognition in the Indian world. We have new tornado shelters since last year. We have one right outside the back door here that in case a tornado comes today, y'all can jump out there. I don't think there's quite room for all of you, but we have another one that's right downstairs in our new social service building. There's a tornado shelter located in there also. We have a memorial garden area. We had a tribal member come forward, and she really worked hard, and her son worked on this. She's our child support enforcement chair. Is she here? Where is she? There she is, Gina Roth, in the back of the room. She worked on this memorial garden project, and it's out by the end of the pond. What do you call that? Not the dam end, the other end. Whatever you call it's the north end of it. I don't know what you call that for a pond. We purchased an apartment house. It has 12 units in it. It's upstairs and downstairs, 6 and 6, and they're 1 and 2 bedroom units. I don't know, do we have pictures of that here? Maybe over to the housing program table. There's pictures that it was called the Irene when we bought it. We have renamed it to the Lodges. And there's Walter Dye over there with pictures. So when you go to his table, he can show you those. We're filling those up with tribal members or Indians in some cases, but we are trying to place our tribal members in those units. We we had a need for smaller units rather than just housing, like 2 and 3 bedroom houses. We needed more 2-bedroom housing, but we also needed 1 bedrooms. There was a need for that, so we bought these apartments. We, in the springtime, I saw a need for a gathering of the female leaders. They're not necessarily called chiefs in the state, but sometimes they're called chairmen or governors, the leaders of Indian tribes. So anyway, I thought, well, I'll have a gathering, and our child care lady, Sherry Ratcliffe, helped me with this, and it was a good turnout. We all gathered, and since then there's been a couple of more female leaders in the tribe. In fact, the absentee Shawnee got a new chief of their tribe, and she's actually a Delaware tribal member. So we're quite proud of her. We purchased almost 100 acres. We thought it was 100 acres, but when we had it surveyed, it turned out to be 92 acres up to Lawrence, Kansas. In our move to Kansas, we talked about moving to Kansas last year, and we have made inroads on that. We did submit our Caney Vita Trust application, and we bought this property up to Lawrence. It's fairly new. We don't have it all figured out yet, but we have been meeting with the city and the county there, and we are getting a question from the floor now. What is it?
On the property in Lawrence, was there an environmental study done prior to buying it?
Yes.
Was there an appraisal done prior to buying it?
Was there appraisal? Do you know? There was a market study. The real estate agent did a market study. He was the one that advised us on this.
The real estate agent advised you? Okay, but there wasn't an appraisal. That's not a essay question. It's a yes or no. So the answer is no, there was no appraisal?
As far as I know.
Okay,
No.
thank you.
Okay. Okay. We have been to D.C. and Carolyn, could I ask you to wait till I finish?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, write that down. We have been meeting with Kansas authorities and also the state people. We've met with the governor, Brownback, and the tribes up there, the Potawatomis, and we've also gone to D.C. and met with the Assistant Secretary Kevin Washburn. We've learned a lot just trying to go to Kansas. We have been negotiating with the Cherokees, and we did get our ATG money released from them. Okay, where am I supposed to be?
You were given an overview, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll get into it a little more meat on some of those topics.
Okay. Yeah, I can't see those slides, so I'm getting out of hand here. Okay. So the services to the tribal members, the department highlights infrastructure improvements, the tribal news, our DIN, our newspaper, the negotiations with the Cherokees, So the social services for the tribal members. We have 84% more tribal member households served by the LIHEAP program, which is our energy program, gas and electricity, and the air conditioning. We have 25 households used our REACH program, and this was a new program started last year that we were able to bring to our people. Our Indian Child Welfare Program has increased, and Lacey Harris works on this. We have started a foster program. We're trying to develop this and grow this. At this time, I heard this week that we have 4 families that are interested in foster children. So I think this is going to be a workable program. We increased our scholarships. I think last year I told you that we had a little makeover in our scholarship program, because for years we suffered with our children could only ask for 1 scholarship, period. That was for 1 year, and it really wasn't much help. So we had the Lenape Scholarship Fund, and we had money in that. My goodness, everybody jumped up and applied for scholarships, so we had a 133% increase in that, asking for the education monies. We improved our community services. We have more people applying for community services, and so that's up by 67%. We have a housing statistic slide there. Our FEMA trailers, we had those to give to our people this year. We had, I already told you about the lodges, but there's a waiting list on the housing. It's still important on housing to get a waiting list. Sometimes people don't like to be on a waiting list, but if you don't have, this is kind of how you get funded. The more people that you have wanting housing, the more money you get for housing. And hopefully we can administer that waiting list to where you don't have to wait too long. But even to building houses, I know we've really been under the gun on the housing under the Cherokees. They took all of our money and they doled it out to us, and everybody, we haven't built houses in years, and we're now negotiating with the Cherokees to get that program released from them, and maybe by not right now, but the year just started, and they tell us we can get that by the end of March, get our money released, and we're kind of negotiating because they kept over half of our money. And so we want to negotiate that so we get all of our money that they have, and we just haven't been able to receive half of that money. So if we get that money released and we get a waiting list, then our money will increase, and so you need to get on a waiting list in the housing. And Walter's back there to help you. Our enrollment program. We really worked hard and diligent on our enrollment program this year, and Chris Miller has transferred into the enrollment with Leslie Foley. They have, last year we told you about our goals and about the new system. So since then, we circulated, they've done 700 new cards. Of course, we've increased the staff. We moved into a new and a larger area in the building downstairs. We have new technology. We've have a turnaround of the applications from 60 to 90 days to process and get your card in the mail after you register. And you all have been out registering the children and people in your family that weren't registered. Haven't you been doing that this year? So we're growing. We have 10,698 members in the tribe right now. We enrolled 211 in 2012. That was 57% increase from last year's new members. Last year, we told you that it was a shocking number of tribal members we didn't have under 18, so we increased that number 26%. So we still have less than 1,000 of those people under 18, though. So you have to get out there, and the staff would help you enroll your families. So you have to be enrolled in the tribe to get assistance from the tribe. So you need to get enrolled. We also would like to encourage you to be sure to let the enrollment department know if someone in your family is deceased, because that's another problem we have, is having deceased people on our rolls. And sometimes the members will use that address, but if you're not receiving a newspaper, because like I said, some of our people are deceased, but they're still receiving a newspaper. So if you do have deceased members, we'd like to know that. But if you're not receiving a newspaper, you might be missing. So be sure you check with the enrollment department today and make sure that your address is updated and we have all your statistics right. And you can also check with other members of your family if you're sure you know their address. So this new program that we started last year is called, I mentioned that, the Child Support Enforcement. It's like a planning grant, and so we have started the second year of that. And they actually have improved their offices, that there's certain criteria that the IRS has to have in this program. So they're working on those offices. I think they're just about finished in Caney. This was set up to serve in Kansas, and they're working on that project up there. There's 3 ladies working on that project. So we have been working on our moving our headquarters to Caney, calling that our headquarters, and our satellite. And we have a satellite here. We're really working on this move to Kansas. But we have improved all of our services for all Delawares, no matter where you live. Okay, I hear it's 2 o'clock and we have another winner. Shelley Harris. Thank you. We have our nutrition program here. I kind of told you about that already, that we do serve meals here 5 days a week, and it's called the Title VI Elder Nutrition Program. We served 8,567 meals since November 12. So the past year, that's what we served, 8,567 meals. And I think everybody appreciates the kitchen remodel, and we have a new salad bar, and we have the amenities in the lunchroom. The people have really enjoyed our ice cream machine. How many have eaten their ice cream?
Some more than others.
It's kind of fun. It's fun to eat that ice cream. And also, for you who are lactose intolerant, it's non-dairy. Some of you are lactose intolerant. You probably didn't know you could eat ice cream here, but you can. We have our wellness center. We are reopening our exercise pool, our therapy pool. That's going to be open on Monday. So it's just right around the corner. You can come some of you had used the therapy pool before, and it has been closed. I don't know, it's been closed for 4 years, maybe 4 years. It was closed when I got here, so I know it's over 3. But it's going to be reopened for your benefit and your therapy. It's at no cost to Delaware's. You don't have to pay anything for Delaware's or Cherokee's. This was a deal that we had made with the Cherokees many years ago, that they could also use the pool. We have a new exercise bike. Do you all go down there and use the exercise room? How many use the exercise room? Look here, we have a few that use the exercise room. It's open, and I think you could benefit from it. I plan on doing that myself someday. We have the library, museum, the archives, and the social service. It's open 5 days a week now. She has a booth here. Don't know if you've been over to her booth yet, but she's open down there. I think she has 2 computers set up that you can access our archival library. She will tell you more about that when you talk to her over here. She's sitting over there at the table that says gift shop in front of it. We've also have a small gift shop down there in that big room. It's a pretty nice looking place. She just received a small grant for children's books, and we thought we were going to get a museum soon. We were supposed to get the part of this building off to the southeast corner of this building was going to open up for a museum, but the child care lady has child care in there, and she had applied for a grant to build a new child care building, but she didn't get it. So we're going to have to wait a while longer for our museum. So that was pretty disappointing. But something else that happened in her preparation of getting us a museum was that the Seminole tribe from Florida called our Anita Mathis. She got this phone call from them one day, and this lady started talking to her about a collection that they have down there in Florida, and it was all Delaware stuff. Don't know if you've studied Delaware history, you know that this man named Frank Speck had come through this Delaware country back in the 20s, and he collected lots of Delaware artifacts. And I suppose he got things other places too, but anyway, he had quite a collection, and they donated 100 pieces to the Delaware tribe. So we got those in a big old wooden crate not too long ago, and so she's been busy archiving those pieces, and you're encouraged to go down and visit her in her room down there, but right now she's over here in the corner. If you have questions for her, she'll talk to you about that. Our language program, we've been working on that. We hope to start classes again. But right now, Jim Remender works on our language, and he has gotten a couple of grants that he's working on his Taklanape. It's at taklanape.org. It's our database. If you study your language, it's not easy. You have to keep after it. But since we do have it on our website, it makes it a little easier for you to have access to that. We have our Historic Preservation Department, or NAGPRA. It's located up in Kansas at the Emporia State in Emporia, Kansas. He had moved off campus, but now he's back on campus. I went up there. The president wanted to make a little ceremony about welcoming us to the university and the offices, and they were glad to have the tribe up there, and we're trying to work together with the University up to Emporia. Bryce and our IT man over here, who's our archaeologist, has been working hard on they have been visiting different states even, because, you know, we came from back east and New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and they have these sites. One's called the Abbott Farm Complex, and they've been documenting what's at that Abbott Farm, and it's all old Delaware history. We have one located in Missouri. They're continuing to work over to Delaware town, and it's in southwest Missouri, and it's been added to the National Register of Historic Places. So that's the Delaware tribe. They had a big meeting over there that was attended, and they've been consulted at the Delaware Water Gap. We've been working on this Delaware Water Gap for years, and but they come up with new projects, and if they discover any artifacts, then they have to, in the NAGPRA program, they have to tell you about it and stop work, and especially if it's human remains. But we have our employees. We have more Delawares employed. I think 58% of our employees are Delaware, and we have, let's see, 72%. We increased our employees in November 12. November 12, where are we?
That should be October 13th.
72% employees hired by October.
In the last year.
Okay, in the last year, we've increased our employees by 72%. I guess is what that says.
72% of the employees hired in Delaware.
Okay. 72% of our new employees are Delaware. We have 2/3 of our employees celebrated their second year with the tribe, and also one spouse of the Delaware. We've been working on a significant undertaking of infrastructure and class staff development as part of our strategic planning for the tribe. For many years, we've been in need of a new constitution, and we're going to have to start that. Maybe we can find a grant to do that. We have, I spoke a little bit about this MOA with the Cherokees that has us so tied down. I think it was back in 12, we started trying to negotiate with the Cherokees and went down there a couple times, and then they just wouldn't talk to us anymore. And then last May, they called us to a meeting, and we went to it, and we definitely want to talk about our ATG money. But I wanted to reduce the MOA, but when we negotiated on the release of our ATG money, which is our aid to tribal government money, we got tied up worse. They built on the MOA. It's just like they don't want to loosen the MOA on us. And, you know, I told them, I said, you know, I can agree to not taking land into trust in your 14 counties. And I can agree not to game in your counties, and I can agree not to have auto tax in your county, but that's not what they want. They want to, I don't know, they just want to tie us up, and they wouldn't even admit they had any of our using our status to use our 638 money. So we are working. Okay. The 638 funds is money that you get from the government to operate your tribe, the tribal programs. There's lots of tribal programs that works on. It's roads, education. What are some of those things? Healthcare. Anyway, we don't really have access to that because they take our money, but we don't. We can't administer those programs here. So we're working on getting those funds released to us directly. We're going to continue talking to the Cherokees about the MOA because we are still located right here in their 14 counties, and we are still going to operate our programs, but hopefully we can get our funds released from them so we can operate those programs ourselves right here in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and our 5 counties. So we did talk about our expansion into Kansas last year, and we met with the Bureau, we've met with the Potawatomis, we've met with Governor Brownback. We've told them our story about our problem with this MOA and living in the Cherokee Nation. You know, we've been here about 145 years, and it doesn't get any better. And when they put the MOA on us just to get our recognition back, then it's just about become unworkable to live here. So we continue to work, and we're working hard, and we did this trust application on the Caney property. We submitted that in Caney, and we're working on the one for the Lawrence property. We have been working on our infrastructure this year. We have people. We hired someone to help us with this, help our staff and our employees here to understand if you learn how to do this, then you can do it yourself. You don't have to have someone helping you all the time to restructure your programs and to update them, because it's important that you keep your programs updated and so you can utilize things that other people do. And so you say, why Kansas? Why now? Why didn't we know anything? If Kansas is news to you, then you haven't been watching us. I've published it in the paper, and I hope you know about Kansas. Well, you know, really?
Yeah.
When you read about it, you knew it. You could have asked questions, I guess. Oh. So, let me show you a little video. Maybe this will help you understand.
After reading all the accomplishments, that's what you said you needed to do.
Pardon?
You said you needed to read all the accomplishments before anybody commented. So far, we've had to listen to you comment about everything, and we still aren't through with the list. Is that right?
I'm just about finished.
Okay, would you please go
As soon
on
as
through the
I'll
list?
show you this video.
I think we have a sound problem here.
Is it going to work? Oh.
While we're waiting for the video to come on, could I make a comment? This has happened before.
No, just a minute, just a minute. Carolyn, did you want to make your comment first? Carolyn was first in line, Joe. Thank you.
More of a question.
Do you want to come to the microphone?
Recognized tribe with nearly 11,000 lineal descendants located throughout the United States. Our ancestors were among the first to encounter explorers.
I'm Carolyn Thaxton, register 809, Delaware. My question is, I haven't seen where the monies have come from for the purchase of the land in Lawrence. And that was my question, where did the monies come from to pay for the land?
I can try to answer it for you. When we took over the housing department, they had a lot of money in there, sitting there unused from the 37 monies that they got that no one had control of, and as long as we spent it for community development, that we could spend this money, and that's where the Lawrence property came from. Funds came out of that money.
Who voted on it?
The council voted on it. You've elected us to run the business, and so we're running the business.
Well, I think that it should have waited and gone for a vote with the people. And you know, that's something that is in our interest as well. And I really think it should have came up as a vote to the people, whether we wanted the land or not. I also was told that someone, the city of Caney, was going to give you land there. Is that not true?
No, I haven't heard that.
Well, that's my comment, my question.
Okay,
And I
thank you.
believe that monies for the housing could have went towards the housing that needed the help with some problems they may have with their housing.
We couldn't use the money to
Wait.
fix houses
Well,
already.
that's what the housing money is for.
We had plenty of money for housing, and I don't know what you're specifically talking about, but we do have housing programs that we use.
The housing authority money could have been used to refurbish or redo some houses instead of buying land.
Okay, I don't know if you realize it, but housing has funds coming from different departments, and there's a needs money that comes to the Cherokee Nation that we do not get, that is to repair members' houses. I'm sorry, but we are not allowed to have that money. The Cherokees keep that money.
And that is with the MOA that Chief
Yes.
Paula was talking about that the Cherokees are holding up.
Yes, they're keeping that money. And they say they are spending it on our Delaware people. I haven't seen any of that, but I'm not saying there might be a Delaware out there that's got their house fixed by them. I don't know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Joe?
Yes, Chief and Tribal Council, I'm Larry Joe Brooks, membership number 2828. First of all, I'd like the Tribal Council to make an exception to your 3-minute rule because I have 3 questions and I think each one of them will take about 3 minutes. So I'd like for the Tribal Council to suspend that rule and allow me the time to ask the questions.
Just go ahead.
First question is, Chief and Tribal Council and Tribal Business Manager, were you all made aware that the sod and the water retention pond was laid backwards? And what has been done about it?
We're talking about
The water retention pond.
Excuse me, Joe.
I watched them.
Joe.
Yes, ma'am.
Joe, you have already addressed these 3 questions, and I believe they've been answered. Tribal manager, didn't you answer Joe?
The Tribal Business Manager has not answered me for 4 months. He's been going to send me an email for 4 months, and that's why I'm bringing it here.
It has been answered because I received that. Curtis, could you?
What's funny, I didn't receive it.
Curtis, did you send that to Joe?
Yes, I sent an email to Joe and I copied you and Chet.
Absolutely not. I did not receive an email. Another question I have on another project. Is it not a fact that you are having to sue one of the contractors on the apartments you bought over on Johnstone, where I reside?
Second request also.
People, this is our money. We deserve some answers.
Okay, continue.
Is there a lawsuit on a contractor that worked on the building, the apartment building on Johnstone?
Not that I know of.
What has been done about the 85 feet of sidewalk that the contractor broke with his lift machine?
I suppose his insurance company will pay that.
I keep hearing his insurance. I've never seen it. And our tribal business manager said he would furnish his business license and bond. And I believe that's a requirement of HUD.
He did.
He did not furnish it to me.
To you? He furnished it to the tribe.
Well, why are we having to sue him then to repair the sidewalk?
What's your hurry? Didn't it just happen?
Yeah, about 4 months ago. Same thing with the pond about 6 months ago. There's never been anything done on it. My last question, is it not a fact that this tribe paid $1.2 million for 92 acres in Lawrence, Kansas? Is it not a fact that the land was appraised afterwards and it only appraised for $200,000?
No, that isn't a fact.
That came from a reliable source. Thank you, people. That's our money.
Thanks, Joe. Charles, right after Nancy. Nancy?
Kind of in regard to what he was saying about, my question is, you're saying that the money came from money held back on us, that's what we used to buy the land with? Is that what was being said? I'm trying to get this straight in my head.
Yeah, I don't quite understand what you're saying.
Well, what I'm saying is, the money that was paid for the land in Kansas. I know you said a while ago where the money came from. I was back there running my mouth and I didn't hear. So, what I'm trying to figure out is where the money comes from, how much was paid, which I just found out. Now, my main question is in the papers, it seems like that's the only place I'm getting any information on this land. You guys bought it before the tribe knew about it. That's okay. But my question is there going to be gambling on any of the land ever? And did the gambling consortium put any money with you guys to get the land?
We have no plans to game in
On that
Lawrence.
land, ever? Ever?
Now, ever is kind of a long time, and no, I don't have any plans to game on that land. Ever. How in the world can you ask a question like that?
Well, very simply.
Well,
Because it
yes,
seems like
thank
to
you.
me that, well,
Thank
okay,
you.
now I'm not, you're beneath the log and I'm not. I still got a minute. The reason I'm asking is you might not be chief forever.
Amen. So how can I say
But,
ever?
well, what I'm saying is, apparently what law goes from here on, what you guys are making into laws and amendments will carry over to the next chief. That's what I want to know, is ever going down that the other chiefs that might come along still put gaming up there. You don't know. I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy, it would be foolish for any tribe to say they're never going to game. We're not taking it off the board, but that's not within our goals. The future may come, yes, but we're not looking at that.
I'm Charles Ramsell. I'd kind of like to get on the more positive side. I want to go back to enrollment and membership. It's come to my attention that like 23% of our members are on a lost list that's on the website. And I'd like for everyone to kind of contact their relations and look at that list to see who's on it. Because we need to get those members current addresses so they're getting the DIN and information.
And Charles, that's something that we have worked really hard on this last
Right.
year, and we were able to reduce the list by 17% over the last year.
Now, the list is out there, but I think the people here could really help on it.
For sure.
And another thing is on what Paula brought up about the membership. We can be members of the Cherokee tribe. The Delawares, looking at the different Cherokee elections, the Delawares could have a voting block. We could have a major impact on that. If you're not a Cherokee member, I would encourage you to fill out the papers and become a Cherokee member and help with the voting so that we can get the people in there that are going to work for the Delaware tribe. That's all I had.
Thank you, Charles.
Madam Chairman, or Chief, I'd like to expand a little something on what Charles said. I don't have a drop of Cherokee blood in me. And because of this relationship created by the Treaty of 1866, I'm getting 2 knee replacements and a replacement of bridge. Free.
Leslie has the lost list. If you want to look through that and see if you can find your people, your relatives and friends, Leslie could help you with that. Is anyone listening? Yes. Right now we have Darrell Glenn just got here with the election results.
Probably all my relatives.
So let's let Darrell tell us about the election results.
I will read the first number of votes for each candidate. Then I will recognize the 3 people that won. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Larry Joe Brooks had a total of 533 votes. Jennifer Brown had 303. Patricia O'Donnell had 303. Bonnie Griffin, 382. Shelley Harris, 151. Homer Scott, 405. Carla Vernon, 138. Mary Waters, 430. So the top three would be Joe Brooks with 20%, Mary Waters with 16%, and Homer Scott with 15%. Okay, the budget question, 92.25% said yes, 7.75 said no. On the trust plan document, 83.30 said yes, 16.7 said no. Let me address one issue that's already come out. We had 500 and some ballots come back because of wrong addresses. So we still have a problem. And thank you.
Thank you, Darrell.
Darrell, I'd like to thank you and your committee for a job well done.
I think you did a good job. Okay. I'd like to take a break if we don't have any objections.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Darrell
Mike.
Glenn, for doing a good job.
That these guys are really special.
Thank you, Jack. JD? There's JD.
The women live a long time, I know, but these guys are in
It's
their 90s.
unusual.
They're in their 90s, yeah.
JD looks so young.
Yeah. Most of the men in my family never lived beyond like 50-some.
Wow. Except you and JD?
Except me, yeah.
Well, you're just 49, so you're in good shape.
Well, JD's he's even younger than me. I mean, he looks so much younger. The other thing that I'd like to comment on is I want to say in front of our group that I do appreciate our chief, and I appreciate her administration. I'd like to point out that our chief has supported our elder program, and it's true what she said about all the meals that are fed. And I tell you, I appreciate that as a Delaware elder living on this compound. It means a lot to me, and I know that there's other elders that it means a lot to too. And I thank the chief and the administration for supporting our elders.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Jack. Also, I briefly want to point out that our chief attends our culture preservation meetings. Our prior, I won't say too much about, I don't want to be too negative, but there's a big difference between the prior chief and our current chief, and I appreciate that difference. The other thing is, now while I got the microphone, to point out that our culture preservation, to me, is our most important, I've said this before, is our most important committee and one of the least funded committees, but we lose our culture. We're lost as a tribe, and we have to have that culture. One of the things that I'm going to point out here is that, I should point out, Nikki, Michael, with our young people, the work she has put in to teach those young people our culture. The other thing I want to point out very briefly is that at the end of this meeting, I'm going to do the bean dance, and I hope you all know about the Delaware bean dance. That dance is a real honor to lead, but it's one of the oldest dances that the Delaware has, and it's all about what our general council is about. It's about coming together. So I hope you're all out there with me doing that dance at the end of this meeting. It's about Delaware's coming together. And that's about it, except I want to ask about submitting resolutions. Did we come to some kind of an agreement on the resolutions?
Well, legally,
Quorum.
point of order, I don't think we have a quorum.
Well,
That's
okay.
the worst part about it.
Okay, one of the resolutions I wanted to submit was about that quorum, about submitting a resolution anyway, whether we got a quorum or not. And you know, I know you can use, the tribal council can easily use as an excuse not to act on any kind of a resolution or not to act on anything here at this general council if there's no quorum. But I don't think that's proper, and I just want to point that out. The other thing is...
Well, it is constitutional.
Yeah, maybe
It's written in the
Constitution.
Constitution.
Yeah, maybe constitutional. The Constitution has been changed, and it can be changed. And I appreciate that.
You know, Jack, initiative and referendum is, you know, if they'd like to change the number or reduce the number, you know, it's a viable
referendum, you get how many?
100 signatures.
100 signatures. Okay. That's the other end of it. Okay.
But we will be working on that.
Okay. The other thing that I want to appreciate just quickly is that at least I'm allowed to speak in this general council. The prior general councils, I wasn't even allowed to speak, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Jack, before you sit down, I want to talk about my wife's tribe, the Pawnees. They don't have near the crowd that we have at our senior luncheon. Plus, I've eaten at several other tribes, and as you can tell, I like to eat. But we really have some good food. And with leave of the chief, I'd like to recognize Archie has left, but Judy's still here. Is that correct? Yes. With your ranger. So these are the people that work a lot of hours to make sure that we can have that ice cream.
Judy, wait.
I won't say any more about the Pawnees, but we do have great ice cream.
You're just upset because they put that ice cream machine up and you want it out.
I was.
As you know, the Chinese the Pawnees are special to me too.
I know that. Yes. I know. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you.
Is it time for a drawing?
Not quite, 5 minutes.
Okay.
May I speak to the council?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a code of conduct for the council, the tribal
Yes.
council? Is that published somewhere?
Yes, we have, you mean published like on the wall or something? I don't think so. We have copies of that. It came out last year, maybe before this time, and maybe a year and a half ago. And we passed that, and it's for all the elected officials.
Okay, but it's where I could get a copy?
Yes.
Okay. Who do I request that from, Sandy or Curtis or?
Is Sandy here?
I don't know.
I'll write that down.
Okay. Also, do we have an Open Records Act policy? Open Records policy?
As far as I know.
You mean you want to see records of the tribe, something that's going on in the tribe?
Yes.
As far as I know, it's our paperwork is open to you. You have to walk in, make a time to sit down and look at it.
Okay.
I don't know if they can give you a
But,
copy.
I mean, I know your minutes from your meetings are published a month later, but there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in workshops that I do think decisions are made. And I know, Paula, you did mention that, or Jan, you mentioned that you all were elected to do the tribe's business.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like I've elected you to represent us.
Right.
Our wants.
Right.
Not your wants, but the tribe's wants. And so, but at times I feel like we're being dictated to. We're not kept in the loop. There is very little transparency in the tribe, and I think that has got to be worked on.
Okay, I'm not saying there, we try our best to be as transparent as possible. If you can find a better way to do it than we're doing it, we're open to it.
Well, I just think that like making things public before they're done, not after, is a very good way of doing that. The first that I knew about the land in Kansas was it came out in the Lawrence paper. A friend of mine sent me an article.
It's true.
And so where was the transparency from the general counsel?
It was very difficult to be transparent about buying that particular property. Unless you wanted them to immediately double or triple the price, you don't tell them that the tribe is buying it. And to get to Kansas, to get our freedom from the Cherokees, we have to have land in Kansas.
Don't we have land in Kansas?
Yeah, we have 2.5 acres. It's not in our old reservation, and this land is our old reservation land.
We came from part of the United States. We stopped in Kansas. We stopped in Indiana.
That's true.
It's not a return.
I know what you're going
It's
for.
not a return.
Yes, it is one of our many stops.
But it was our last one.
Our original home was not in Kansas.
That's true.
But it was our
So
last
we're not going back
reservation.
home.
It was our
Well,
last
it was the last
reservation.
place- Yeah, it was the last place that we were given land at.
But if we wanted to just free ourselves from the Cherokees, all we had to do was on the 2.5 acres in Caney, establish our
No,
headquarters.
It's not our last reservation.
These
But
are
we could
federal
establish.
laws. We have federal laws that govern tribes.
I mean, if you can figure out how to establish it in Caney, I'm all for it, but it's not going to work.
Well, I just think that maybe you all or the DEADQPR, whatever, all these acronyms you throw out, did not do their work properly and are not do. We don't. We as a tribe, most
Thank
people
you for your opinion.
don't feel like y'all are doing your job for us. Thank you.
Well, I'm not doing it for me, so.
Okay, it is time for the report of the trust board, and so the chairman is going to give that report at this time. And he just had all good news on his election he just had this morning. His new document was passed.
Can everybody hear that? Can you hear me now? The meeting will not be open. That means, come in, Delawares, and let's talk. I'd like to,
Just to check, can we ask for the drawing?
before I talk, we'll have this drawing, and Nathan Young is the fourth. Oh, Nathan Young, the fourth, is the winner.
There he is.
That's my wife's son. I thought he was your grandson.
Congrats.
I told everybody I could do a better report on the trust board after the election. But and I do want to congratulate Mary Waters, Homer Scott, and Joe Brooks for being the winners in that election. And I want to tell a little story to those that didn't win. The first time I ever ran for an elected office in the Delaware tribe was in 1991, I think, when the first trust board election was held, and me and a friend of mine named Bruce Thomas came into the Delaware office, I think on the day of the filing deadline, and our tribal business manager said, "Oh, I'm glad to see you guys because nobody's signed up to run." That was about 11 o'clock on September the 15th. And me and my friend Bruce Thomas, we said, "Oh boy, we're bound to win." But I come in next to last, and Bruce came in last because a bunch of other people filed on the same afternoon. A friend of mine who happened to be a Cajun down in Louisiana told me that if you talk to people, if you've got to talk or something to tell them who you are, tell them what you're going to tell them, and close up by telling them what you told them. I am Chet Brooks, my Lenape name. There's no witches in here, is there? My Lenape name is Oxenamichi. I was named for a particular silver maple tree that my father and me planted. My mother was Helen Brooks. My grandmother was Mary Sarcoxy. My great-grandfather was Little John Sarcoxy. My great-great-grandfather was Tamanduawa. He was killed on a buffalo hunt when our people were still in Kansas. My third great-grandfather was John Anderson Sarcoxy, the man that got 700 signatures of the 985 of our ancestors that were pushed to Indian territory. I could go on. If it pleased you. William Anderson was my fourth great-grandfather. My fifth great-grandmother, I understand, was a lady named Helena Kilbuck. Maiden name, Helena Anderson. Married name. Sixth great-grandfather was John Kilbuck, the father of the signator of the first treaty signed by the Delawares with the United States in 1778. Sixth great-grandfather, John Kilbuck. Seventh, Natawatwis. Eighth great-grandmother, I don't know her name. Those white men that wrote the books that I got this information out of were not very good at recording a matrilineal people's women's names. Ninth great-grandfather, Tamaman, the one that signed the treaty with William Penn in June of 1683. That's who I am. But we didn't really come here to talk about who I am. We came to talk about the condition of our trust I've been around the trust board, I guess, of the Delaware tribe ever since it was created. When I became the chairman of it for the first time was in 1995. I believe that our 3.8 million had grown to about 4.2 million in that 4-year interim. Immediately after I became the chairman, we had to do, I think it was $150,000 drawdown to get the money to pay our lawyers seeking our federal recognition for the first time. We did recover from that drawdown up to about 4.4 million by 1998. Then, around the turn of the century, if everybody will remember, there was a big financial crisis in 2002, and to make a long story short, our trust funds dropped down at no fault of the then trust board, simply fault of the market. They did drop down to about 4.2 or 3.2 or 3.4 million dollars. We recovered from that thing up to $4,004,000 about 6 months ago. And then we had one bad month where our investments lost $120,000 down to 3.6 million, I think. We have recovered from that a little bit. We're now back to 3.8 million and a few dollars. Folks, I am not in any way a financial expert. I don't actually want to be a financial expert, but I am, again, the chairman of the trust board, and realize that the trust board has the duty of protecting our money. As far as our 6 committees, I'm glad to see that the new trust document passed, because that new document is going to add 5% and double the budget of the Cultural Preservation Committee, which Jack talked about. It's also going to add 5% of our monies for our elders. It's also going to create 5% of our trust monies for veterans. And it's adding 5% to education and 5% to community services. I feel that those committees are certainly worthy places to spend our trust funds. I'll be happy to take any questions about the trust. First of all, I'd like to kind of challenge our new trust board that will be sworn in this Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And here's my challenge. I think all of us know that our tribe's federal funding is going to be reduced because all federal funding, we're all aware of the recent fiasco is what I'd call it. I'm going to challenge our new trust board to think about what's going to happen to our trust if the United States economy simply fails. Now, I'm not a prophet of doom. I don't think that it's imminent that the U.S. economy is simply going to fold and go down to nothing. But I've read history about other countries, like, for instance, Germany. In 1915, it took 4 German marks to equal a U.S. dollar. 5 years later, it took 40-some million German marks to equal a U.S. dollar. I pray to our Creator that such a thing as that never happens to our country. And I'm going to challenge our new trust board to at least talk about what if it did. I thank you for your attention. If there's questions about the trust board, either negative or positive, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
I would think,
I guess we have a question here.
John Sumter, 5718. It's not a question. Yeah. Is that better? There we go. No, since this new document's passed and we've had the creation of a Veterans Committee that's bona fide now, what we're looking at is we do have veterans contact sheets. This done once before, but those records have been lost. And we're having to start a database again. And the tribe, with the help of Chris Miller, has started the veterans database that we can store here at the tribe itself. So if any veterans, if you would leave your information, fill out a sheet and leave it with Chris Miller up there in the front, we'd appreciate it to where we could get this going again. Because our ultimate goal in the Veterans Committee, we have a color guard that ranks right up there with any in the state. We're proud to say that. I have some good people that's helped bring it about. It wasn't just me. You know, I've got some good people, but we'd also like to see a burial detail of our own folks, to take care of our own folks. That's another ultimate goal.
to have our own vehicle to take care of our tribal veterans where they don't have to depend on a ride to go down to Tulsa to the VA. You know, have it on call here. Veteran services. You know, have our own veterans representative that can go to the VA as a recognized representative of this tribe to help our own tribal members with their claims or whatever they have with the VA. But in order to do this, we need information. So if everybody would help out, spread the word. Chris Miller is the main.
Vicki. Yes, I just wanted to let everybody know that our youth program, Lenape-Osi needs to live the Delaware way. That's what Jack was bringing up. And I just want to say that that's not my program. That's all of our program. Some of the people that have been working with our youth, Levi Randall, Nancy Sumter, is she still in here? She comes every week, makes sure we have food. John Sumter. Who am I missing? Oh, Jason Jones. And that's what I want to bring up is that we raise all our money on our own, with the exception of the trust board, who's given us ample support, especially at Christmas. The tribe actually allows us to use the room every Thursday night, and that's an in-kind cost, and we appreciate that. And Curtis has been really good about helping us out and making sure we have coffees and all the things that we do for the kids. We teach the language, social dancing, and powwow dancing. But we have shirts over here. If y'all are interested in buying them, it's to benefit the kids. We have mostly the kid sizes left, but we can order the adults. And one other thing, as a trust board member, I want to thank you for voting in and the new document. I also want to thank Chet Brooks for his letter of recommendation to the Cobell Scholarship. I was invited to be a part of. Paula had the chance. She wouldn't write one for me, but Chet did, and I really appreciated that. Thank you.
You should thank the Elks Nutrition. Yeah, right. We donate all of our leftover food. Yeah. I know. Oh, sorry.
Yes, Annette, I think there's some people here that you need to introduce.
Okay, we have some Kansas Delawares down from Kansas and around the Topeka and Kansas City area. The Carolyn Rowe, who serves on the Kansas Delaware Tribal Council. And Carolyn, would you introduce and would all of the Kansas Delaware stand up and let Carolyn introduce everybody? You might step over to the microphone, Carolyn. Carolyn serves on the council for the up in Kansas.
Hello. I want to thank everybody for being so welcome here. You guys are really special people. You warm my heart. This is Kenny Benoit. He's a member of our council members too, and his wife Teresa, and my husband Steve. And like I say, I really appreciate your warm welcome to all of us, and feel like we're part of you.
Well, Kenny's also on the tribal council.
Yes, Kenny's on the tribal council too. Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I told you before that we have the directors of our programs over here around the table on the wall here. So they have applications and brochures, and they can answer some of your questions. So they have their reports on the table too, so you can pick up one of those to see what they've been doing all year and maybe what they are planning. So, any of the committee chairs have reports they want to make? I think they're all in writing, and okay, a credentials report. Did we ever get a quorum? No. We only got up to 70 people. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and because we have our elder group wants to do a program and tell you about themselves, and Mary Waters is going to do a presentation for the elders. So we are adjourned.
Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming.
We also, remember, hang around because we're going to have this elder report, and we're going to, Jack said he's going to do a bean dance, and we're going to eat, and we're going to have 3 more drawings for the $50. 3 more. Okay. Thank you. And here's Mary.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, the first thing we want to do is introduce our committee. I'm Mary Waters, and I'm chairman or president of the Elders Committee. And this is a group that meets at noon at the lunches. And we have our meetings right after lunch. And then each month at the first Monday, we have a meeting. And then we, with the group, with the whole lunch group, and then we have something of interest for them. We've planned to have storytellers come. We plan to have different ones come and tell about their families so we can get acquainted with their ancestors. And at our first meeting, we had we ended with Jack Tatum leading us in a bean dance. And we just try to do things that we can keep our culture, and we're learning Delaware Day. At this time, I'd like to ask our group to come up here, and the first one I'd like to have come is Joe Griffith. Joe Griffith, and I'd like her to speak about our elder program and tell us a little about her job. She is our vice president.
I don't have my glasses on. Okay, I'm just going to speak brief on the elders. I'm the vice president. Green light's on. Oh, let's don't. Okay, pretty much I don't do a lot. I'm the vice president. I just don't think Mary and I can probably fly on an airplane together now, but we are planning some van trips, maybe go to Woolrock for an afternoon with the elders, maybe go see Christmas lights. Just get, a lot of us as elders don't get out a lot, and so we'd like to get out and get our people moving. We're going to start trying to do some nutritional information at lunch, diabetes, heart information. We've had some hits right here locally in our own buildings, and so we're going to work on some of that. And I guess at this time, Mary, am I turning this over to Mary Randall? Yes. Mary Randall is our recording secretary.
They pretty much covered what I was going to say about the language. We have a flip chart over there that we put the words on. Plus, we have Delaware or Lenape dictionary at each table for the elders. The nutrition program prints up a monthly menu, and on the back side, we've been putting the elders' activities, like we exercise 3 days a week right here at 10:45 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'd love to have all of you come join us, and you'll have to work hard at it because Luke Ketchum comes and he does every exercise. He can out-exercise any one of us. You mentioned the van trips, and we did take a group of 9 elders to Tulsa to the NCAI on October the 16th. And I don't know of anything else I have to say. What? Okay. He's going to get to it.
Next, we'll have our treasurer, Jan Brown, will give us a short financial report. I know it's short because we don't know about our money.
We just gained $4,000, so we're good. Yes, you have a question? Oh, all right. Yes. The only thing we've done so far is spent gas to get to Oklahoma City, or Tulsa. Not Oklahoma City. Tulsa and back. Hopefully, we do have 3 elder consultants that help us make decisions for our group, and we are open to anybody and suggestions. And as far as that exercise program, you don't have to be 55 to join. You can be 11 if you want. And we also have a birthday celebration here on the 15th, or as close to the 15th of the month as we can. Isn't it? It's going to be the 20th of November this time. So come and join our birthday celebrations. We had a heck of a Halloween party in here this week. Oh, you guys should have been here. So things are going on. If you haven't been here in a while, you need to show up because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Thank you, Jan. And the next one I want to introduce is Jack Tatum. Jack Tatum is on our advisor group, and I'd like for him to come and tell a little bit about our NCAI trip to Tulsa, and that was, we had 9 people in an 8-passenger van, and, yeah, don't report it, and Mary, Charles Randall drove us, and Mary sat in the back, but she gave instructions from back there. I'll turn this over to Jack Tatum now.
All right. Well, thanks, Mary. That's another thing I'd like to compliment our current administration for. I mean, they provided us a transportation down there to NCAI for the elders, and I'm sure the prior administration would have done no such thing for the elders. Anyway, about NCAI. I used to think that NCAI was kind of like a big party for Indians. I still kind of think that a little bit, but it's a pretty good time. But I'd also like to point out there's a lot of things going on in Indian country, and it's a way for our tribal elites. And what I mean by tribal elites are elected officials of the tribe, and our people that work for the tribe to attend that, to find out to see what's going on in the rest of the rest of Indian country, and there's a lot of things that are really interesting. There's booths that are out there that represent different organizations and programs that exist in Indian country that I found interesting to go around and review and talk about. But what we went down there, I mean, as elders, we got to attend a elder health care seminar. And I tell you, of course, it's about health care. And I don't know if we've got anyone that's really an expert on health care. I mean, how it works, for Indians and non-Indians. I mean, like there's a lot of problems with our health care that I have witnessed personally, and it appears to be a combination of money and bureaucracy, and it can really be difficult for even an Indian. I've got white friends that say, "Oh, you Indians, you've got health care. Oh, you got it made," And I give you an example of how we've got it made. I have a heart condition, and you can probably tell I can start shaking and everything after a while when I get excited. But I had an ablation procedure, where they run these wires up in your heart, and I got the referrals and everything. Well, went down to Oklahoma City and they did the operation. 13 and a half hours on the operating table. I think they used me as a guinea pig, but still, there was a big bill, even though I had the referrals. Indian IHS wasn't going to pay, and they didn't pay. So I had this about what was left after Medicare paid is something like $6,000 or something that I did not have, and I wasn't going to pay anyway. So they turned their bill collectors loose on me. Anyway, long story short, they drive you crazy. But it's not so simple for Indians even to get health care. And I had a friend that I loved very much that died really young with cancer, and she tried to tell him that she had, she was hurting really bad, and they just gave her some pills and stuff like that. And anyway, finally they put her in the hospital, and she died. But anyway, really sad story. But that happens to Indians. Our health care is not the absolutely best in the world. When this country, well, I won't go into that. It's kind of a political thing, but. And if anybody, I'd like to open this up right now as far as a discussion on people that might have some ideas or about how to deal with Indian health care and to make it better than it is. I know that our tribe has a program, and let me tell you, they've come to my aid once already, and I really appreciate that. That's a cult, the trust board of that. I got put on this heart medication that is expensive as all daylights. It's like around $6 a day for these damn pills. Okay, well, I'm running out of pills, so I go to get help, and the tribe will help you. But it's got to be approved by the board. And the board meets once a month. And if you wait too long, you got to plan ahead. And the board finally approves it. And man, I'm without the damn medication. Of course, the doctor says I should take that medication to keep from having a stroke. And I'm thinking I'm going to end up. I'm going to have a stroke. Anyway, to make a long story short, it's not so simple, even though I got help. Well, once the board okays it, then you've got to go get somebody to write the check out, and you've got your accounting department. They got priorities. They have priorities too, and they'll point that out to you. And it just takes time. It's not simple getting help, but when you do get it, you really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate it. So I'd like to open it up to if anybody has any ideas or any stories that can help the rest of us as far as our health care is concerned. I invite you to come up and tell us about your story and how possibly it might help us in the future. Is what I mean. And my story is that you got to plan way ahead. Otherwise, you might not get the help that you need when you need it.
Jack,
but it's out there.
if I may comment,
Yes.
Jack's referring to the Community Services Committee, and we do meet once a month. But where there is a timely matter or an emergency, we call our people in. So, even if you miss our monthly meeting and there is something that we need to do, don't hesitate to come to us. Also, like for utilities that are going to be cut off or even on medications, once we get the applications in, we show that everything is there and everybody's eligible. We contact the vendor and tell them that we are sending them a letter telling them that the money will be there and explaining it. So, we can help in a hurry. In your reference to the referrals from either Cherokee Nation or Indian Health Service, my husband was a heart patient. I'm diabetic. I have other problems. I get the referrals and then I start getting the bills. Just keep taking the bills in and turn them in. And if you do it often enough, then they do eventually get it done. But don't give up. Don't give up and pay it. Take your bills in and keep after them.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for pointing that out. Are we ready to do?
Jack?
Are we?
Jack, you didn't tell the group about the cultural night that you went down to also.
The cultural night?
The cultural night.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mention the cultural night. Well, yeah, okay. You want to tell about it? But they had a cultural night down there. I mean, the Delaware side, I didn't get to see our Delawares participate, but what I did get to see, and I think the rest of us, what we saw was some really interesting dances of our brothers and sister tribes around here in Oklahoma. I really appreciated, like our Saxon Fox folks, but what I noticed with the number of the dances, I mean, after you saw one dance, you pretty much saw it, but they'd redo the dance, but they dance over with a different song maybe 4 or 5 times, and pretty soon you kind of got tired of watching the same dance. But other than that, it was really interesting, the different tribal dances. Did I bring my rattle? I'm going to have to take a 5-minute break because I'm going to get my rattle.
Okay. And before, we want to close our portion of this program with a prayer. And this is a Delaware tradition. We end certain parts with prayer. And we have asked a very respected, revered elder in our group. She's our advisor. And we've asked her to come and give our prayer. Bonnie.
Thank you very much. If everyone will stand, please.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much, dear Lord, for this beautiful weather. And Lord, we appreciate this day of the voting and be with the people that could not be here with us. Lord, there is so much sickness and we just hope and pray that they will get well. Be with our servicemen and women that's overseas and be with our country, Lord. You are the only one that can be the one to correct everything. And we do praise you for this place we have to come and communicate and be here with our families and loved ones. And we thank you for all the many blessings you have given to us. And Lord, we appreciate every moment that you have given to our sick people and be with them and guide them and bring them more feelings and whatever. And Lord, we just praise you again for the many blessings you have given to us and forgive us where we have failed you. All these things and I ask in your holy name. Amen.
May I suggest that, while we're waiting for Jack and for the dinner to get served, that anybody that can take advantage of our booth along the wall, War Mother's booth, and our tribal program. This is a good time to get to know what.
Well,